Following program is sponsored by The Greek, Ely's Radio Shack dealer of 570 Altman in downtown Ely, and brought to you as a public service by Georgetown Media in Ely, Nevada. Regional Planning Commission meeting, December 16th, 2020.
Jason is coming.
Jason is?
He said he'd be here just a few minutes.
I think I saw him pulling up.
Jason?
No, I saw somebody pulling up, so.
Oh.
Anything from Andy?
We did not respond.
Well, I do have 4 now, so that makes it 4. Jason, good to see you.
You guys too.
Okay. Planning committee meeting open, and Brad, if you can lead us to the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. The regular regional planning commission meeting, we will open with public comments.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I still don't see any sound system in here. County paid big money. Some people aren't able to hear what everyone is saying. Mr. Chairman, on your agenda item A here to discuss building codes within the city of Ely and White Pine County, there was nothing in the packet that I picked up at City Hall. The public has no idea of which code you're to discuss. The Nevada Open Meeting Law requires that the agenda item be specific, and it is not. Mr. Chairman, this last week near the corner of Ogden Avenue and Crawford Street, a new water meter box was installed and a couple of protective bollards were installed near it. From the fence line to the outer edge of the meter box, the distance is approximately 11 feet 5 inches. City requires 4 feet for sidewalk and another 6 inches for curb and gutter. I want to know why the city code wasn't followed. There was no public hearing to narrow Crawford Street. We're looking at another Avenue D. Why didn't Mr. Carson put in curb and gutter to protect the service and stop the erosion in that area? Years ago, I received permission to put in curb gutter and sidewalk at my property on 710 Avenue G. So I was told to follow the state radius, which I did. Then the city turned around and sued me for impeding traffic, causing the traffic, safety hazards, so on and so forth. This selective enforcement has got to stop. You guys need to be specific when you're talking about codes. 2 people, 2 different rules and regulations, one gets sued. I don't think that's funny. Here's a picture of the insulation and the boards. 11.5 feet from the fence line. That's not even funny anymore. Here we have another discrepancy on Avenue B and Railroad Way, Mark Bassett's home. The original curb and gutter.
George, can I see it?
Sorry about that. Thank you. Very good. The fire hydrant is approximately 2 to 3 feet down in the street, and the new curb and gutter that was installed is 6, maybe 7 feet, even farther than that. That needs to be corrected. I don't know where your building inspector is. On Avenue D, across from not Mount Weeder, Weeder Machinery, you've got trucks, vehicles parking in the curb gutter sidewalk area. Curb and gutter needs to be installed, that's a commercial area. Silver State Motel, they're doing business, no business license, I've turned it in at least 4 times, maybe 5 now. No answer. Re-roofing on 1500 block of Murray Street, Kevin Briggs, they know what the code is, did you have to buy a permit? I've not seen one yet.
Okay, time, George, thank you.
I need some answers, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Item A, discussion only regarding building codes within the city of Ely, White Plain County. Any of the members have anything to discuss in the way of building codes?
I don't have anything this time.
Go ahead. Carol?
No, I keep thinking I need to get it out and study a little, so I make a list, but I haven't done that yet. I do plan to do it before very much long, but it's just nothing specific at this point.
Okay, and I don't have anything specific either. A very light agenda this evening. The only other matter we have is discussion possible action approval of minutes from the planning commission meeting held on November 18th, 2020. But do you have any additions, subtractions?
I gave one correction, but
We had one correction on page 6, changing the word
page 6
is to M. If you let it line down, you just change the word is to M.
right above Jason's.
Okay. How did you catch that?
The 11th line down there,
Okay.
and then it starts handwriting.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I didn't know that. Anything else? Have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Any seconds?
Second.
Right, seconds. Take a vote to approve the meetings. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes passed. Okay, and we go on to I guess the next thing is public comment again.
Jennifer, if I could, I'd like to request that you send me a copy along with my, send me a copy of the minutes along with my agenda. So in case I have to miss a meeting, then I know what happened before. If you don't mind, keeps me in the loop. Thank you.
Any more public comments of any kind? George?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I want to remind the planning commission city has, to date, not addressed city code violations by previous and present members of the planning commission, as well as some of the city councilmen and county commission. We need to comply with city codes that they may have formulated, adopted, or resigned. I'll give you a copy of this. Just to repeat, I've not received any answer. Mr. Chairman, I want to know how many discrepancies or deficiencies do I have to bring before you do something about the building inspector who's selectively enforcing the law under color of law. I've given you numerous examples. Some of these people have taken out building permits after the fact. I've not seen anything in your reports or the city reports where they've paid any penalties as required by ordinance. Again, here's Kevin Briggs, re-roof, nothing. Mr. Bullis has a sign encroaching on the walkway, commercial area, and it needs to be corrected. Crawford and Parker, we have animals within the city limits. That needs to be corrected. Again, either we have rules and regulations or we don't. We have a boat wreck by a playground, attractive nuisance. At some point, you may have a child hurt. We've not addressed that in years. Community choir, no permit, improper roof. Don't make rules you can't live with. Mr. Chairman, I reported more than once the new parking lot at the convention center does not meet the minimum AD requirements. That's yet to be addressed. Mr. Chairman, Keith Carson is allowed an RV and is renting a space, or was renting a space at the Stringer Park on Orson Avenue. I've not seen anything regarding a special use permit as required. Whether or not that individual happened to be with construction as required. I want to remind you that I was given 2 citations and my renters were on my property in that same general area. Selective enforcement has got to stop. Either get rules of the regulation and the regulations, or give me some accountability. Mr. Chairman, the new marijuana dispensary Curaleaf is still blocking ADA access. Again, I didn't make the rules, they've been there. Needs to be addressed. Mr. Chairman, at numerous city council, either utility board meetings and this board, I've reported that numerous RVs, possibly squatters, were setting up throughout the city. I want to know how many of them were issued permits. I've not received any.
This time.
Thank you, George. Anyone else with public comments? Okay. Well, in that case then, I'm at the point of where I will hear a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll make that motion.
Jason made the motion and seconds from Brett. And all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? You're adjourned.
You too. I gotta hook up with April.
Oh, yes. This has been a Georgetown production. George Chatchis reporting.